Let's start with the second problem of projection of solids. A square prism, 35 mm sides of base and 60 mm axis length, rests on HP on one of its corners of the base such that the two base edges containing the corner on which it rests makes equal inclination with HP. Full stop. Draw the projections of the prism when the axis of the prism is inclined to HP at 40 degree and appears to be inclined to VP at 45 degree. So the problem is very simple. I know where it is resting and how it is resting. According to our problem, we know how where it is resting. It will always be resting on HP, and how it is resting. It is resting on base corner. It is resting on a base corner. So I have this is my 3D part. So I have a bottom base which is A1, B1, C1 and D1. This is my top base A, B, C and D. I have base edges which runs from the corner A1 to B1, B1 to C1, C1 to D1, D1 to A1. Then I have a bottom top base edges A to B, B to C, C to D, D to A. Then I have a longer edges which run from the top base to the bottom base A1, B, B1, C, C1 as well as D, D1. I have also an imaginary line which runs from the midpoint of the top base to the midpoint of the bottom base. That imaginary line we call it as the axis. The length of that axis we call it as the axis length. So in this case, it is resting on one of its base corner. So for me, it is resting either in A1 or B1, C1 or D1. So I should have a corner on my right hand side. So let's start drawing our problem without wasting much amount of our time. So I have to draw a XY line. So this is my XY line. Then we have our X, Y. Then I have a vertical plane VP, horizontal plane HP. So I have to have a corner on my right hand side. So I start with a point here on this point here. Then it has to be 45 degree from both the sides. So in in our sketchbook we will be directly getting it, but here in this case I have to make sure I'm drawing it correctly. In this case it will be 45 degree from here as well as 45 degree from here. So in between I get 90 degrees. In between I get 90 degrees. So I'll start drawing it. Then I know the length of this. It is again 35 mm. So from here it is 35 mm. So this is 35 mm. So from here again it is 90 degrees. So I complete my square where I have a corner on my right hand side. So it is my A, B, C and D. I don't draw the top base and bottom base as of now. Then I'll project it upwards. Then I have a midpoint of this. From here, I know the axis length. Axis length is nothing but it is 60 mm. So I know the axis length from here, it is 60 mm. So I'm going to draw a axis line here, which is a chain line. Then from here, it is again 60 mm. Then I'm going to join it. So this point from this corner is A. So it is A dash here. Then this corner is B. So this is B dash. This corner is C. So it is C dash. D I have on the same into it will be in the bracket D dash. So whatever I have written here, the same with 1, I'm going to write it here. So it is A1 dash, this is B1 dash into the bracket D1 dash, and this is C1 dash. Also I have an axis here, so it will be O dash, and this will be within the bracket O1 dash. Since I have to know the midpoint, I'm going to join it up. I'm going to join it up. So this point is O1. When I see this line, I have B first, then O, that is the midpoint, then a D. So when I'm seeing it from this end, I can see the corner here B. I can see the corner B. I cannot see O, nor I can see D. I can see only B, I cannot see O, nor I can see D. That means I cannot see the imaginary line here. I can see only B1 line running from top to bottom. I cannot see the imaginary line. Since I cannot see the imaginary line in this case, what I'm going to do is I cannot draw the axis line here. So instead of drawing the axis line, I'm going to draw a thick line here without a dot or without an axis line. Now, in my third phase of the diagram, I have an axis inclination with respect to HP, it is 40 degrees. With respect to HP, it is 40 degrees. So it will be nothing but 90 minus 40 will give me 50 degrees line. So this point, I'll hold some point here. So I'm going to convert the axis inclination to base inclination. So 90 minus 40 will give me 50. So the angle here which I'm going to draw is 50 degrees. So the angle here which I'm going to draw is 50 degrees. So I have converted the axis inclination to the base inclination. Now I have to know this distance from here to here. It is 5.1. So I have 5.1 measurement on this line. So I have a 5.1 measurement in this line, and the midpoint is exactly half of it. It is 25.6. So 25.5. So I have some 25.5 here. This is my point. So once I know this point is C1 dash, this point here I have O dash within the bracket, then B1 dash and D1 dash. This point, and this point is nothing but A1 dash. And from here I'm going to draw a 90-degree line. I'm going to draw a 90-degree line because it has to be a straight line. If we had a drafter, we could have done it directly. Then I'm going to have a 60 mm line here because the length of the axis is 60 mm. I'm going to have a 60 mm line here. then join this line. I'm going to join it. So this point is C dash, this point is O dash, B dash, and within the bracket I get D1 dash. Then I have this point, it is A dash. So this is my axis. So the axis inclination, it will be nothing but 40 degrees. Then I'm going to project it downwards. Then this will be projected sideways. Then I have A1 from here, A from here, A1 from here. So this is my point. So this is C1, this is D1 in the bracket, this is B1 in the bracket, and A1 in the bracket. So I have A1 from here, A1 from here. So this point is A1, this point is B1, C1 as well as D1. On the similar ground, I have A, this is B, this is C, then I have D. So I join A1 to B1, all the base edges. I'm going to join it first. A1 to B1, B1 to C1, then C1 to D1, then D1 to A1. Similarly, A to B, B to C, C to D, and then D to A. This is my top base, this is my bottom base. I join the outside one. Outside has to be a solid. So for me, A1 to B1, B1 to B is the outside line. So I join it, B to B1. Then B to C is the outside line, C to D is the outside line, D to D1 is also outside line. I join it, then A to A1. Now I check the lines going out from C. The lines going out from the C1 is nothing but I have a line going out from C1 as C1 to B1 as well as C1 to D1, that is C1 to D1, C1 to B1 as well as C1 to C. I have C1 to C, that is a line going out from this point. I need to find out the dotted line. It is nothing but line going out from this point. It is C1 to C in this case, C1 to B1 in this case, as well as C1 to D1. So my C1 to D1 will be a dotted line, C1 to D1 will be a dotted line, as well as C1 to B1 will be a dotted line. Also from C to C1 will be a dotted line. So from C to C1 will be a dotted line. And this always again, when it is like this, it will always be in a Y shape. Two small and one large. It will always be in a Y shape, two small, one large, as well as I have joined DD1 here, CC1 here, BB1. I have not joined A to A1. So I just draw a line from AA1. AA1 is the first line which I see from here. It is a visible line. So AA1, I'm going to join it from here to here. This is my AA1. I'm going to join. So my hidden line is merging with this solid line. Solid line is always visible. So from here I have a dotted. Then from here to here I don't have a dotted because A to A1 I'm drawing a solid line because A to A1, I am going to see it. It is visible for me. So because of that, I'm not going to draw any other things what we get here in this. So don't be in a confusion again. Okay. So in that case again, I'm going to start with the axis, then the next portion of this is again I have a axis. The question is again the next portion of this I have a axis. The axis of the prism is inclined to HP at 40 and appears to be inclined to VP at 45. So I have a word appears to be here. When I have a word appears to be, so nothing is going to change and the axis is inclined to VP at 45 degree. So I have an axis inclined here. When I see the axis, so this point for me is nothing but O and this point is nothing but O1. So when I measure O to O1, O to O1 when I measure, it comes around 4.65. It comes around 4.65. The axis length here, the axis length in the fourth diagram and the axis length in the first diagram, it is varying. The axis length in this case is 60 mm, but the axis what we have got here, it is nothing but something 4.67. So it is nothing but it is since it is varying here I'll be having a beta angle problem. But in the question I have got appears to be. When it is appears to be whatever is there, that axis I'm going to rest it on 45-degree line. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a 45-degree line for which I'm going to just place this O1 on this 45-degree line. So I'm just going to draw a 45-degree line here. I'm just going to draw a 45-degree line here and place this O1 in this 45-degree line. So this is nothing but it is a 45-degree line. I am going to place this O1 on this 45-degree line. So for which I know this whole distance of length from A to C. So from A to C, that is A1 to C, I know this whole length. From A1 to C, what I do, I measure from A1 to C. So it is 7.8. So it is 7.8 something. I'll just take it down. 7.8. Then I measure O1. From this point I measure O1. It is 1.6. So from this point I measure O1. It is 1.6. So the same distance it will be from here. Again it is 1.6. So it is 1.6 here. I have measured A1, I have measured O1, I have measured O as well as I have measured C. All are in a single line. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to place this rectangle. So that is 1, 2, 3 and 4. I'm going to place this rectangle over here. So I know point A, I know point C. So these are nothing but it is at a 90-degree line. This line A1 to C, I know A1 to C which I have already drawn. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to place this rectangle that is 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4 here in this line. So when I place from A1, it is nothing but a 90-degree line. I draw a 90-degree line. So this is a line for me to draw a 90-degree line. I'm drawing a 90-degree line from A1 as well as from O1. I draw a 90-degree line. Then what I do, I know from this point, from O1, if we don't have much space, if you don't have much space, you can start with O1. You can do it with O1. That's not a problem. As well as O, because we don't have any points here at C. Then I know the distance from A1 to 2. I know the distance from A1 to 2. I know the distance. It is A1 to 2. It is 2.6. So 2.6 from A1 to 2. So I get a point here. So 2.6 from A1 to 2. So from here I get 2.6, as well as from here 2.6.